Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our wrestling podcast. So, without further ado, the following podcast is scheduled for one fall, and today's topic: did it hold up? Vengeance 2002 for the WWE Undisputed Championship match. The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. And don't forget, you can catch us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Stitcher.
Welcome to the O.W.P. This is our wrestling podcast. This is Dave along with Jess.
This is Jess, everybody.
And Cuz.
Coming for you.
Bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. And now on to our topic today. Does it hold up? Part 3. As always, you can reach us via Instagram at O.W.P 2019, SoundCloud at Our Wrestling Podcast, YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, or just do the easy thing. Download WrestlePost, the app at no charge to you, and join us along with other great podcasts of the day. Guys, we're sending into part 3. What is the match you want to talk about today?
Real quick, too, this is the first Does It Hold Up with Cuz.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Hey. Welcome, shithead.
And the match is going to be from Vengeance 2002, the main event for the was it E or F at this time? E or WWE, right?
Shit, I don't even know.
I know they changed it. Anyway, I'll just say
2002, so
it's for the WWE Heavyweight Championship, and it is the champion, The Undertaker, defending against The Rock and Kurt Angle in a triple.
I do know what's coming up next. A match with 3 men in one ring to determine the WWE Undisputed Champion. The triple threat match is coming up next, and here's how it all came to be.
This match is a draw. Therefore, still undisputed champion, The Undertaker.
Due to the controversy surrounding the Kurt Angle versus Undertaker match, and in the interest of fairness, the main event at Vengeance will now be Kurt Angle versus The Rock.
it was
And
WWE.
It is WWE.
Yeah,
for the
because it's a brand
Undisputed
split.
title.
SmackDown.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
That's what I said.
That's what you
I
said.
just said that.
Yeah, you eventually said it. And guys, if you want, we're obviously not going to do a watch along. We've already watched this match, but for those of you that just want to catch the high points, I highly recommend on YouTube WWE Spine Buster. It's actually, gosh, it keeps going up every time I look at it. It's 228,000 views, and it's only loaded this one since 8 months ago. So all the high points, it takes a 25-minute match down to 7.5 minutes. Check it out.
If you want to go, that's a very good point, Dave. If you also want to go to the network and watch the whole match,
the network.
buy the network, $9.99.
It's only $10 fucking
dollars. It is
Flies a
Vengeance.
kite.
It is Vengeance 2002. This event took place. Now, the climate of wrestling here, this is kind of like the year after the invasion angle. Whatever you think about it, good or bad, the dust had settled. And Hulk came back earlier in 2002. Hall and Nash came back, did the whole NWO thing. WrestleMania 18, Hulk Hogan faced The Rock. The Rock defeated him. So Hulk had already kind of been riding this whole nostalgia thing. He kind of started fading out. The Rock left after that to film a movie. I don't remember which one it was. At King of the Ring 2002, The Undertaker defended the heavyweight championship against Kurt Angle, but The Rock had come back for that pay-per-view. So I remember they were celebrating The Rock, as returning and all that. So The Rock would interfere in that match, giving a rock bottom to The Undertaker, but The Undertaker would still defend the heavyweight championship against Kurt Angle at King of the Ring 02. And that leads us to this pay-per-view where they created this triple threat match with Taker defending the title against Angle and The Rock. 2002, July, Vengeance.
So, by the way, we talk about triple threats all the time. I I'm always a fan of triple threats, especially if they're
Same
done
here.
right. What's your take on triple threat matches? in
I
general?
believe I became a fan of triple threat matches here, and I'm not even kidding. I think ECW did a couple successful ones
fuck
during
yeah.
their run, but WCW tried a few here and there. Kind of fell flat. I don't really know if the WWE tried a triple threat before this. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? Oh, yeah, they did with
There's Benoit,
Kurt Angle and Benoit. But I mean,
Jericho.
it wasn't. They didn't get it right. It was odd. This match for at least the
This is my favorite
WWE,
triple threat match.
I felt like this match got it right. The formula in this match worked perfect. Whatever they did, the pacing, the in and out of the ring, they told different stories.
Yep.
It wasn't all just in the ring. This, to me, I became a fan of that match after this event, to be honest.
Yes.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Introducing the participants. First, from Miami, Florida, weighing 275 pounds, The Rock. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing 237 pounds,
In this company's history, and the only gold medal.
from Houston, Texas, weighing 305 pounds, the Undisputed Champion, The Undertaker.
By the very nature of the rules.
Sure. And I also just want to throw out there that it's probably because Kurt Angle's the best wrestler on the planet
It could be.
ever.
It could be.
It's facial
That's
expressions in this.
And I am a homer for Angle. I've said it before, but Angle can make anything work with anyone. And if this is where triple threats get their writ for WWE, he's probably a big part of that. You
Oh,
know,
look, he was part of this, and then Angle, Benoit, and Jericho. So
yeah,
those are my two top favorite.
And this was also
Matches,
right
triple threat
before
matches.
the birth of the brand split. Because leading after, not to do a spoiler here, but the next pay-per-view, the next pay-per-view after this event would be SummerSlam 02, where Brock Lesnar would beat The Rock for the WWE Championship. And then shortly after, they would do a brand split. And I remember Brock Lesnar leaving Raw and only going to SmackDown exclusively.
With Paul
So I
Heyman.
think this was the beginning of the brand split idea, and then eventually they'd bring in the World Heavyweight Championship, and Eric Bischoff would just give it to Triple H, and so it was. I'm pretty sure that was all around the same area. Correct me if I'm wrong, cuz.
I think it is Smack. No, I think the brand split was already here because the invasion happened in 01, and then Flair came back November.
Yeah.
And that's when they took over each side, remember?
I
Or
remember
going
that.
into
I
the
remember
next
it was
year.
a war. That's true. You're right. Maybe it was.
And then Vengeance was right before SummerSlam, obviously, so after WrestleMania. So yeah, I think it had already
I
happened.
vividly remember Lesnar leaving and going with Stephanie and leaving Bischoff on Raw, like saying, "I'm taking the."
Yeah,
title
because he had the
back." Remember?
championship already.
Yeah,
huh?
it was after he beat The Rock at SummerSlam.
So yeah, actually, I don't know then.
So I
Yeah.
think there was
Around
it was
that time.
Yeah, it was a weird. And then the brand split, I think, happened because of that. I think that storyline led
maybe
into
that's
it.
where they split off.
So
and had
yeah,
separate world titles.
maybe I should have done my research better.
Yeah.
But that it all gets fuzzy after this, because once the first brand split starts, things start going a million miles an hour. After, WWE is the only show in town here in 2002. They're trying to this kind of people label this from like this to 2008. They label this the Ruthless Aggression era. Because when Bischoff got hired, he said, Vince McMahon gave me a new initiative. It's not the Attitude Era, it's the Ruthless Aggression era. And it was the whole thing. So
It
they
actually
kinda
already
call-
was the brand split.
It was at this point.
Yeah, it says pay-per-view from WWE Raw and SmackDown brands. Storyline division in which WWE employees
So
are
I
assigned
think
to television.
Lesnar kind of pushed the
program.
whole second title coming when
Yeah,
Lesnar
that's
won the
what I'm-
title and he left. Yeah.
And
So
then
when
I
Lesnar
guess that's what it
first-
was, yeah.
Yeah.
that's what
So
it was.
this is right. This is during the brand split, but right before they made two separate
Exactly.
championships.
That's what it
That's-
is.
So this
Yeah.
is kind of super pivotal and important. So let me go over the card real quick here before we get into the
Great.
actual match.
Whee!
The Dudley Boys
Goddamn.
defeat Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero in a tag team elimination tables match.
Sure,
How
no.
the fuck?
14 minutes, 59 seconds.
Okay.
The second match is Jamie Noble defending the WWE Cruiserweight Championship against Billy Kidman. He defeated him by pinfall in 7 minutes 34
How
seconds.
underrated is Jamie Noble, by the way?
I love Jamie Noble.
Yeah, Jamie Noble's very talented.
Yeah, kiss her. Yeah, kiss him.
The next match was for the WWE European Championship. Jeff Hardy, the champion, defeated William Regal in 4 minutes 16 seconds. John Cena, before the rap gimmick, defeated Chris Jericho in 6 minutes and 21 seconds.
Holy shit.
Amazing. Rob Van Dam defended the Intercontinental Championship
Defeated him, bro. I beat him.
against Brock Lesnar, beating Brock Lesnar
Yeah, bro.
by disqualification
Hey,
in
bro,
9
bro.
minutes and 38 seconds. And I'm pretty sure Lesnar murdered him. Booker T defeated the Big Show in a no disqualification match in 6 minutes 12 seconds. The Un-Americans,
Yes.
Christian and Lance Storm, defeated Edge
damn right.
and Hulk Hogan to win the World WWE Tag Team Championship in 10 minutes, ending Hulk Hogan's only Tag Team Championship
Yes.
That's great.
run. And in the main event, The Rock defeated Kurt Angle and the defending WWE champion, The Undertaker, to win the WWE Championship in a triple threat match in 19 minutes and 35 seconds.
So at that moment, when you think about all that talent on that card, the weakest person at that time is probably Hulk Hogan.
What are you
I'm just
talking
saying.
about, brother?
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
my
for
God, dude.
For star nostalgia, he's lost most of it. He's lost
No,
his
brother.
step. He
Brother, I
has
still have a
to
beer can peanut.
tag in and out at this point.
You better watch what you're
And he's
talking
still a tag team champion. But and
So
then after
beer
that, what is
peanuts,
it? Maybe
brother.
the big shows. The
Actually,
second
still having
weakest?
some of my
But
favorite
those,
matches.
but those
though,
are
man.
those are top
Honestly.
tier guys, top
The big
talent.
show's in my
anywhere,
pants, brother.
and they're at the bottom of that talent roster at that moment.
Hogan was still having some of my favorite matches.
See,
Oh
that's
yeah,
right.
he
Cause
because he
Brock,
can tell a
brother.
great story.
Vince.
I'm not saying
Shut up,
because
Dave.
he's the
Don't try to
weakest
kiss
is
my
that
ass
he's
down, brother.
weak.
Mike,
It's just that
it was just-
there's that.
well, I mean, it was
That
at
entire
kind of the end
card.
of his nostalgia run, and like he had already done the whole
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say
NWO
is
and
that
everything.
that entire card is
like
absolutely
2
loaded.
months, 2 or 3 months
It's-
before he was champion.
That's the thing.
That's
That's,
what
like
I'm
that
saying.
one time when I said I was just reading, guys, when the Survivor Series. I'm like, look at all those names on the card, like like how you're acting right
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
reacting
It's
to
like
it.
when
It's
Hogan
amazing.
and Big Show are your weakest
It's
links,
amazing.
I think you're doing something right on talent. I mean, but it was like a selection of talent when you lose a whole federation.
Well, and that was the whole climate here. You know, this
hate
was
it.
to me, this is like the aftermath of the war. You know, like,
exactly.
you had talent that
Great.
came
To the
from
victor
WCW
go
and
the
ECW
spoils.
that were trying to fit into WWE.
Yeah.
WWE was breaking them down and rebuilding them for good
They
or
do
bad.
whatever
That's
they
what they were
want.
doing.
Sure.
When they were still using their big stars like Taker, Angle, The Rock, you know, like they were still relevant here at this time. Lesnar was a budding star. So reading his result where he loses to Hardy by DQ, it's because he destroys Hardy.
Get the name right.
What are you about?
RVD.
You're about 2.5 years after WCW goes under, right?
Yeah, WCW went under early 01.
01. Okay. Oh, so only a
So
year and a half.
It was like a year and a half, yeah.
So a year and a half. It is truly to the victor go the spoils. They had their pick of the litter at this point of time.
They were just trying to figure out who they had and what
like,
they
what do
had.
you what to do with them?
This was a very interesting time in WWE
That's fucking
history.
great.
So
I loved it.
going on to the match, I mean, like, yeah,
Amazing
leading up to
match.
it, I was telling you that going in, King of the Ring was the month before. You know, Undertaker defended the title against Kurt Angle. The Rock made his return from filming a movie for a few months, so he comes back, he interferes, he rock bottoms the Undertaker, doesn't beat the Undertaker.
You can-
Angle doesn't, but then Undertaker ends up defending against Kurt
Well,
Angle.
you can never underestimate a great talent being cooled. This is like a cool off period, and he's doing it for a movie. I get it, but there's nothing better than a top talent tier star just taking time off, disappearing, and then randomly coming back, and the crowd just erupting. Triple H has done it. Randy Orton's done it. Obviously, we see it here with The Rock. There's nothing like it, and there's no better way to cap off a real great storyline if you need something short and quick where the crowd's going to lose their shit. And they did here. The Rock coming back is the ultimate epitome to put him right in the title race.
Well, and I think it was exactly that. It was Vince not really wanting to lose Rock to begin with, but then he loses him, and now he's back, and he's like, I'm going to throw him in there. Undertaker was
Undertaker
was
I'm
the
gonna start calling
biker
him
gimmick still
Undertaker.
here. Undertaker was the biker gimmick still here. He was Big Evil. He started getting the nickname of
Yes.
Big Evil at this point.
Undertaker.
Kurt Angle came off a feud after WrestleMania with Kane and like did other things. Undertaker, same thing. Hulk won the title from Triple H. Taker ends up beating Hogan for the title, and then kind of it all blends into the summer of 2002.
You're welcome, brother. and Triple H fighting for the title. Like,
Yeah, so all that was
God.
happening in 02. It was
Jesus,
a nostalgia
man.
run for Hulk.
Love
It
it.
blended into Taker winning the title here and then coming into this pay-per-view. So a lot of this stuff like connected. 2002 was a very odd year in the sense of, again, they had so many legends and then they had so many new people from WCW and they were just trying to make them work. They were trying to, so they had to brand split because they had so much different talent.
Just mentioning that, we should just do a whole episode on the year of 2002 at WWE.
That's
I think
pretty.
that'd be an interesting
Yeah.
story
Pretty
to
intense,
talk
yeah.
about.
That and 03 were like a very
Yes.
odd. I would say even 04 and 05 were even more different. It's like this all spawned this whole change that had to happen. Like,
I guess we just do a Ruthless Aggression era episode.
yeah.
Fucking
We'll
great.
see. Well, let's jump into it, man. What say you? What's the first thing that happens in this match? I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Kurt Angle
blatant-
in the beginning.
Yeah, it's a blatant stare down between Taker and Rock, and obviously Angle's upset because he's getting no love at all. He's like,
Love
"Come
it.
on, fight me!" And they both just pummel the shit out of him.
Yeah, we know you're there, Kurt. Rock in the end. Yeah, you will pay attention to Kurt Angle. Whoa! Not that kind of attention. Angle just introduced himself. Wait a minute. And then it's got knocked down. Kurt, you don't need that kind of attention.
Floor. That's a way to start a match. There's nothing better than Angle getting his ass kicked right in the beginning, and he's good for that every
And
time.
this is when he was already the serious Angle too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
'Cause
he's-
had
But
the
he
bald
could
head.
always play the chicken shit heel
Yes,
when he
and I
had
love
to.
yeah, and he's perfect for that in a match like this.
But then you were scared to death.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
of
yeah,
Angle,
man.
because you really believe whether you liked him or not, like he could really beat these guys if he wanted to. Like you always had that feeling of Angle.
Yeah.
Even before Lesnar came aboard, Lesnar, the pure size of him, and then you learn that he was a good like grappler, a good
Yeah.
wrestler. Then you were like, oh, Lesnar would kill you. But before that, Angle's whole aura was like, oh, he's gonna kill you. He's a real fighter. Like he's a real guy that can really wrestle you
Well,
and hurt
do you remember that? Do you remember that show? What was it? The Roundtable Legends.
Yes.
Foley told Taz a story that Taz never heard. It was when Angle debuted and he was fighting Taz, and I guess Angle came up to Foley and said, "What am I supposed to do with this guy, man?" And Foley's like, "Well, what do you mean, Kurt?" He's like, "Yeah, what if he like wants to shoot on me or something?" And Foley was like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like,
You're
"He's
Kurt
afraid
Angle.
of you." He's like, "You're Kurt Angle. You're an Olympic gold medalist. You kill him. He's not gonna do that to you." And like Taz like didn't know that, and then Taz like, "Oh man, I feel I appreciate that, and I feel humbled and respect from Kurt Angle for telling that story." But that's just the type of guy.
Because
Angle
I'm
was.
sure Taz was like,
Angle-
I'm not even
Angle
going to
was-
try. I
Oh,
will
yeah,
not. I
Taz,
will
yeah.
not try Kurt Angle ever.
Yeah, and basically Taz confirmed that. Like,
but
it's
Kurt
funny that
Angle's
Angle felt that
incredibly
way.
humble that way too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why he was so good. You
Yeah.
know, well, one of many reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Kurt Angle. In a nutshell. What if he tries to shoot on me? Well, then break him.
lo and behold, like Angle could just kill
And of
anybody.
course,
in there.
Taz would never have done that.
No.
And it's funny because Angle had a
Big
tryout for the WWE, 2 years earlier?
Yeah.
And his whole thing when he went in there was like, I'm
Like
never going to lose, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. And Vince
But
like,
yeah, here he
It's like,
finally,
thanks for coming in.
yeah, here he finally debuts 2 years later. He humbles himself, whatever, and he's scared that a non-wrestler might shoot on me. It's
Yeah,
like
and
you're a
destroy
fucking
him.
real fighter. You're a real wrestler.
He
You-
grew-
You'll
he
just
grew-
kill him.
he
Oh,
believed
the
that's right.
Taz persona, though. That is
Yeah.
pretty much what McFoley was kind of implying. Like he believed the Taz persona and thought Taz was like a fucking guy that could just snap and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like,
But in the
So that was
back,
cool. It was a cool
but in
little
the back,
story.
Taz was incredibly humble and helped people
Yeah.
out. And he's a good guy,
Yeah.
for the most part. So, but anyway, jumping in, what's the next part of the match you want to talk about?
I just like the way they did this. They spilled to the outside.
yes.
They did a lot of back and forth on the outside.
Taker
which-
getting his knees into the stairs.
Yeah, well,
one
just
thing
which
comes to
just
mind.
broke up a lot of stuff. Normally when you do a triple threat, they try to kind of keep everything in the ring before this match, and not ECW. I know ECW successfully did it, but ECW took it on the outside too. I think that's the key. Is they would actually redefine the Iron Man match during the Attitude Era, where it was. I want to say it was Triple H
and the Rock
against. Was it The Rock?
Judgment Day.
Yeah, and an Iron Man.
HBK was the ref, and then that's when. Taker
But
came
they
back.
did inside, outside, up the
Yeah.
aisle. They'd never done that before. When you think Iron Man match, you think 60 minutes in the ring.
yeah,
That's it.
Wrestling classic.
Borefest. But like it's not. They changed it
They had
here. I think for the
run-ins.
triple threat, they did outside the ring. They went back inside the ring. So they broke up you weren't just looking at the canvas the entire time.
Yeah.
You were looking at everything else.
It's fucking
that
great.
was
Dude.
awesome.
This match was amazing.
And then fast forwarding to like the middle to the end of the match, they did a lot of false finishes.
Yes.
They did them realistically and slowly. They, did a high spot, false finish. All three guys would lay on the ground, breathing hard. because it's a real fight. So you were like, okay. Then they would all three get back up. They would cluster. They'd start fighting again. They would do different things. They always allowed two guys to grapple with each other.
Yep.
And when they did three, it was like a big fall down.
Yeah.
And then everybody would get back up again.
And
They
then
never
Angle's
did
facial
three
expressions on
so
this
much to where you couldn't understand what was going on. It was always one guy versus another guy, the other guy getting knocked out of the ring and sitting out for a while, and then the other two guys going at it, and then the third guy coming back in and breaking it up. And then it was just a very nicely done chess game. And it was really, and it got the crowd up. The false finishes,
Dude,
especially
the
towards the
fucking,
end, were
the
great.
crowd
Like,
was into it big time.
Rock drop right over our announce table. As Kurt Angle now widens the advantage on the Undertaker. Extends the offensive margin on the Undisputed Champion. The Angle Slam! The Angle Slam! He's got it here! The Angle covers. The Rock, it's over! You're gonna get all the attention in the world now, Kurt Angle! A bloody battered Kurt Angle! Cover either one of them! Gotta tap out! You better tap, Taker! The Undisputed title is on the line! You gotta tap, Taker! Who's gonna survive this? Look at Undertaker! Damn, sure started! It's anybody's ball game! The Undisputed title on the line! Angle is on the roll up! The cradle! The knee of the tights! Oh, he got a near fall now! Other feet! Oh, man!
Not only the false finishes piece, but the fact that they're humble enough to go, well, why don't you do my finisher? You know, not even finishers, but even high spots. I think Taker did a fall away slam,
yeah.
where it's just angles. You know, one
Rock
of
did
his
the ankle lock.
Yeah, he did the ankle lock. You know,
Rock or Angle did rock bottom, right?
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
and he also, I think he even did a power bomb on Rock. I think it was, you know, there's a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like it was okay. Well, everyone's doing everybody else's finisher,
Angle's
but
my
you know
MVP
you
of the
can't
match, though, man.
you can't use someone else's finisher to win, so you know it's going to be a false finish. So it's like, but it's still cool.
But
You're like, whoa, you know, he pulled that on him. I bet he didn't see that coming. That's something great for the announcers to kind of combat too. Wow, I bet The Rock didn't see his own finisher coming his way.
Yeah.
And it allows for that much more banter in the match.
So, and in the end, The Rock ends up winning the WWE Championship and going on to SummerSlam the next month and loses to Brock Lesnar. That kind of starts a whole other era.
This is what The Rock should have done for Punk, too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, brothers?
How many times we got to line it up
Nice
for
guys.
Brock? That's what I want to know. I feel like should just line it for Brock all the time.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Does this hold up to you? I mean, and we're
Yes.
the whole rule of this, whatever, is it's 2020 now. The match needs to be at least 10 years old, which
it's
is
18 years?
this match meets
Jesus.
that criteria.
Or almost 20 years. It is 18
An
years. Almost 20
18-year-old
years.
match.
18-year-old match.
It does.
When we rewatched it, were we on our feet? Were we entertained? Does it still hold up, cuz?
Fuck yeah.
I caught a lot of holy shits when we were watching.
Dude,
Yeah.
This is something that
Highlight
me and
reel.
like you know, just a couple years ago, we would always start on me and shout out to Big Mike, the homie. Yeah. But yeah, we'd always watch this, you know, crack open a couple beers, get some fast food. This is one of the matches we'd always put on. It sticks out that much to me. It's one of my favorite triple threat matches. Probably my favorite triple threat match, along with the Angle, Benoit, Jericho. But yeah, I think it still holds up. It's how triple threats should be done.
Dave,
It's
does it
fucking
still
great.
hold up, Dave?
Yeah, there's no question, man. It holds up. You know, I know we only watched the high point match, but I think even if you watch the entire 25-minute match, there's not a time where you're bored. It's not a time where I'm looking at my phone. There's so much wrestling I watch now, and I get caught looking at my phone, looking at stupid shit because
No,
it
this
doesn't
match
hold my
sucks, dude.
attention. This match will hold your attention all the way through.
Well, what's even great is just the video package in the beginning, and then the way JR sells every time with each wrestler.
Forget the
JR
commentating.
tells the great story.
Yeah, the commentating back here. JR was just on his game. Jesus
He
Christ.
puts everyone over as they're making their entrance. It's
He's
fucking
the
great.
best
It
at
sounds
this
like a
moment.
UFC fight,
JR's the best play-by-play ever,
except for now.
except for now.
What do you think? Does this match hold up, Jess?
I absolutely. Yeah, this match holds up for sure. We haven't had an episode yet where we said no. Looking back, I think I should have said no for Hulk against Warrior, but I can't just because the nostalgia factor. One of these
the
days we'll
crowd
do it doesn't hold up,
participation,
and we'll
though.
say no.
Well,
Or
if you had to put up against this match to hold,
well, I'm not saying compare the matches.
Yeah, you're gonna if you had to pick one to hold up and one not, you know what you.
But, well, of course.
If you went by
I mean,
star power and crowd
I'm talking about like,
participation, though,
that's why I kind of talk about the
does hold up.
atmosphere, about wrestling around it.
Yeah.
And you talk about the culture of wrestling around it, because that does matter how
It
good or
does.
bad the match was. But I think it holds up
crowd
for
reaction
sure.
and participation during the match, the
This
star
match is
power
great. Yeah.
on the Warrior Hogan. But yeah, this match is fucking great.
This match
lot
is
of star
great. Go
power
back
here
and
too,
watch
yeah.
it.
It'll hold up in the wrestling standpoint, or from a wrestling standpoint too.
Yeah, that's the thing. When
Even
you
today's
in ring
standards, this match would be good today.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Yeah, well, that's where you're saying Warrior and Hogan. The wrestling itself doesn't hold up to that standard.
But the
Still
power,
holds up.
star
Yeah.
power.
But this match holds up to all aspects when
Yes.
it comes to
This
entertainment.
match should be
star
good
power,
today.
entertainment.
Storyline.
Yeah.
Maybe we should change the criteria of this like kind of themed episode too.
Well, you can always break it down.
Does it
you
hold
know,
up? But I mean, we're holding it up to today's standards. So.
Star
Yes.
power,
Yeah.
wrestling, ability, and like you said, story. All that
Story.
all that stuff. Stories,
The build-up.
It has all of it.
Yeah.
Has the build, has the story, has the
The
talent,
end result,
and
Rock
has-
winning,
yeah,
putting
and-
over
and-
a new
and-
star,
but it-
Brock
But it
Lesnar.
also has the great
Everything
wrestling.
tied in.
Because right now you can argue a lot of matches today, they have great wrestling. Everything
Oh,
is
fuck
great
yeah.
wrestling in the ring right now. Everything is quality, but we're missing all the other factors that hold up
Substance.
matches.
Right.
Substance and storyline, right? So this is kind of where we
Pull
are.
up your notes there.
I was gonna play. I was gonna
Just
play.
like-
I was gonna
Yeah.
play. I was gonna play Glorious.
Well, that
Don't
does it
play
for that
Glorious.
episode, everyone. Our Wrestling Podcast, episode 44. Does it hold up? The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker for the WWE Undisputed Championship, the main event at Vengeance 2002. What a great match that took place in the Ruthless Aggression era. And speaking of the Ruthless Aggression era, if you enjoyed that new documentary that the WWE released on the network of the Ruthless Aggression era, stay tuned, because next week, our Wrestling Podcast, episode 45, the Ruthless Aggression era. And don't forget, you can catch us on major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, along with YouTube and SoundCloud. And don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 and on Twitter at podcast_our. This has been our Wrestling Podcast. Stick around and stay tuned once again for next week's episode, Our Wrestling Podcast, episode 45, The Ruthless Aggression Era.